I'm going to bring the hip area up a little bit more. I was going to start it a little lower than what I wanted to. And this leg is crossing over the front. So I might have to I did my directional lines before I started drawing in the forms, and I can see where I'm going to need to make an adjustment. Make that joint right here by drawing this circle. And then this one's going to be going this way. Smelly Do-Rag ballerina. Yes, she's a ballerina. Janan Jones, hello. I hope I pronounced your name right. How's everybody doing today? And so this leg right here is hidden. This leg is actually in front. It's not hidden, but it's going behind this one here. I'm going to make the changes right here. And that's the ankle there. And then I'm going to connect the bottom portion of the foot down here. Just roughly drawing in the shapes, knowing that I can always come back in and make changes if need be. These are geometrical shapes. And I'm going to make the hip area a little bit more substance here. They were kind of too narrow, making them a little bigger there. And then the calf muscle here. Might change that because her legs are very close together. And it looks awkward right now, but sticking to it and not giving up on it. Making changes and adjustments as necessary where needed. And let's give a little bit more shape to the thigh muscle here, or the thigh area. And what I'm going to do is not give too much attention to this because her tutu covers up quite a bit of this. In fact, her waistband starts about right here. And there's a fold there because of the arch in her back. And then let's connect that band right there. And there's a little bit of weight from the material pulling the tutu downward. So I'm just going to make some loose strokes here. And then take my eraser and clean this area up because you can't see through the tutu, but I just needed to use this for my guideline. Now I can erase it. Let's clean all this up. Thigh area as well. I can take my initial guidelines out and just rough sketch it from here. Clean this up. And let's put a little bit more detail in the tutu. And let me clean this area up a little bit more. All right, and so let's take this up. We've got the lower body roughly sketched in. Let me put that knee there. She's got on like ballerina slippers. And kind of tied up there. Let me just add that in before I go to the next area. Do the same thing on this foot here. There's her heel there. And let's get this calf muscle in over here and taper it down to the ankle. I don't want to use too much pressure on my pencil because then the marks will be final. And when I go to erase it, it'll be harder to get those guideline marks out of there. So I have to remember to keep it light. I've got the pencil nice and sharpened, and that kind of makes it hard to draw lightly. So I want to just take this up and out a little bit as we taper away from the waist. Give her a little bit more bulkiness towards the back area. All right, and let's put a top on her arms here. I think I can take that in just a tad bit more. I think I will, and erase that line there. That might be a bit too big. I'm going to taper that out here. Her back isn't that wide. She's rather petite, small. So let's put the shoulder in here. I'm just going to make a shape just like this. Down right about there, and then add her arm here, the bicep. This is where it cuts off right there, and then the elbow is here. And there's a kind of bend there. And then the forearm goes down in this direction here. So we're going to give it a little bit more volume up there and then taper off towards the hand. Another circle here, which represents the wrist. And then her hand just kind of falls down like that in this direction. And I'll come back later and put more details in for her hand. But I want to come up here to her shoulder and just draw a circle there. Or not, that's kind of like an ellipse or whatever, half of an ellipse. But it represents the shoulder muscle. And that connects to her arm here, which I'm using like column, a cylinder shape. Let me take that up just a tad bit more in this direction here. And then I want to taper it off right about here. The elbow. And draw the forearm. And stop it right about here and put another circle. This is the wrist. This represents the wrist. And then this is the hand here. And I'll come back in and draw a little bit more detail for that shortly. Taper it out and widen it up right here at the elbow joint. And then bring it on down for the arm. The bicep area here, the triceps, I guess I'll say. And then this is underneath the arm right here. All right. And so now I'm going to put the neck in. And then this is her head. She's looking upward. So her chin is going to hit right about here. It's the larger part of her face because of the angle. Let me erase this line here. Start the head shape all over. That was just a placeholder. I can erase some of these guidelines as well since I have all the placement in. And let's see here. I'm going to bring her collar up around her neck, right in here. The material bunches up a little bit right there, so I'm going to put a couple of lines here. This is a shadow for underneath the arm, say the armpit. And then I'm going to show how this shoulder muscle wraps around the bicep and the triceps. This is where they come into play. A little bit more shaping around here. And then let's make that forearm come out a little bit more there and taper it into the wrist. I just want to give it a little bit more definition. Okay, let's see here. Neck. Under her chin, right there. Just going to draw a nice circle right here. Maybe right here. And the smaller one here because of the angle of her head. That's a directional line for where she's looking. And then we're bringing it back, the cranium back here. And let's add the neck here. Connect this side of it. And then her ear is going to fall right in this area here. Let me take it back just a tad bit more and erase that line. Her eyes are going to hit right about here. Nose here. And then the mouth right there. Not much of the forehead is seen because of the angle of her head. So this is our hairline here. I'll put some hair. A long ponytail. Use the side of my pencil to just do some quick marks for the flowing of her hair. And add a little bit of value. And let's put some hair right in here, just a little value. I don't want to leave that open. And we can always come back and give the hair more detail later. So now, let's put a little detail in her shirt here. Let's see here. Let's put a little value under her arms. I don't want to make them too big either. Taking my finger and just rubbing this in to smooth it out. And let's say let's put a nose on her. It looks weird. I gotta change that quickly. And normally when I practice these figures, I don't like to put in a lot of detail for the face, just to get the gesture of what this person is doing, to see if I can capture it, is really the goal that I have. Here's an eyebrow. I don't want to make it that long. Let me erase some of that. And then we put an eye in. This is an upward look. There's a small little dot that represents the eye. You can't see too much of her eye from this angle here. What you can see though is shadow, and shadow can give the impression. Let's put a little shadow here on the bridge of her nose, the cheek area. Rub that in with my finger there. And mouth. Chin. A little line there and just a line for the mouth right here. And there's shadow underneath the chin. Let's erase some of this and get some highlights in here, right in this area here. And I don't want to get stuck on the face, but I am for some reason. And let's lift some of that value out. Put a little bit more here and on the back of her neck, because this is in shadow, this area here. A little bit more shadow on the plane of her face here. All right, I'm going to leave that alone because I just am ready to leave that alone, but I want to do a little bit more value on the hair. This is a 2B pencil. And then the hair kind of just falls right behind her back there, just over past shoulder length. All right, rough sketch. Okay, so let's go to, I think her waist is a little too small. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. I'm going to put some shadow on this side here. It's the rib cage. This is all in darkness for the most part. And this is in darkness. Now let me just smooth this out with my finger. A little bit more value here. Let's put some value on her arm as well while I'm shading. Lots of value here. This is in the light, so I'm going to erase some of the value on the underside of her arm. Erase some of it here as well. We've got the form of it in. And now I'm playing with where the highlight hits the arm by lifting out some of the value. Okay. Lift out a little value here. First I'll rub it in a little bit more and then erase a little bit more here. And let's put some value on this arm. With the 2B pencil. This is in the shadow. Let's put a little shadow here. And we're going to stop it right about there. So let me smooth that in. Do a little bit of erasing to bring that out just a little bit more. Okay. Let's get some shadowing on her legs as well. Okay, let's lift some of that out. Now there's light here because this part of the thigh is more visible towards the light, I guess. The light hits there. And the kneecap, I'm going to put a little bit more value there. Like a round circle right there for the kneecap. And left a little bit of color or value right in this area here. And then this is in shadow, where the legs are the closest. But I do want to smudge that in just a tad bit and spread some of that value around. Get rid of that hard edge there with this eraser. All right, let's put a little bit of value right here again, because that's not as dark as I want it to be. And a little value on the tutu. I'm just adding a little bit more value in certain areas now so that it won't all be the same color, if that makes sense. Want to make the darkest areas dark, the lightest areas the lightest. But if it all looks the same, it would read the same. There would not be much of a difference. Put a little design in her blouse there by making these little squiggly marks. It's supposed to be like a lace or something. A little bit more pressure on the pencil. Mm. And let's put a little bit of a highlight right in here. I don't know why I can't stop playing with her face, but I did want to, I don't know. A little bit more detail. Hmm. Just doing a little bit more refining and shaping here. I'm going to lift a little color because this is the inside of her hand and there's a lot of light in this area. But then there's a lot of tone value right in here. Okay, let's do a little bit to the other hand. Just the thumb. Erasing that circle there for the wrist. Putting a little bit of more value on the hand. Smudge some of that in and work with it this way. Just an indication of that is what it is, her fingers. Not doing a whole lot of value or defining of fingers right now. Let's lift a little bit more color out with this kneaded eraser. And by erasing that hard line, it just gives the appearance that it's very soft material. You can still see it with the shadows. So you move that around a little bit with your finger. If you have a smudging tool, you can use that, but I don't have that with me right now. It's on the other side of the room. And I'm just going to lift that color out with my finger. And put a little bit more shadow on the waistband. Right in there. Rub that in and lift this hard line out. And let's put some highlights in her hair. The hair that's kind of flowing here. And I'm just doing that by using my eraser, putting in some directional lines. Mm. All right. Let's see. Little curl here. Curl there. Okay. I can't stop messing with it. Okay, let me stop. All right. Well, all right, so Todd Picogram, aka Satan, okay. The Antichrist's mark of the beasting equipment is on the back of his wrist, and he mark of the beast, your wrist during handshake. Well, I pray for Todd Picogram. I don't know what he's necessarily talking about right now, but whatever it is that's on your mind, I hope God can bring you relief and peace and love and joy in your life, because those are the things of God and that's what he represents. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. God bless you all, each and every one. This is Rita Rue of Creative Atmosphere. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until the next time, bye for now.